Have you ever felt like you're standing on the edge of something life-changing, but you just don't know what it is? The truth is, before every major breakthrough, God sends signs, but most people miss them. That's why in this video, I'm going to reveal 7 powerful signs that God is preparing you for something big, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to recognize and respond to them. Think about Joseph, sold into slavery, thrown into prison, betrayed by those closest to him. It looked like his life was falling apart, but in reality, God was setting him up to rule a nation. Now here's the key. Many people quit too soon because they don't recognize God's process. But if you're experiencing sign number 7, it means your breakthrough is closer than you think. So stick with me till the end, because this could be the confirmation you've been waiting for. Unusual delays and obstacles. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, things just aren't moving forward? Doors that once opened easily now seem stuck. You're not alone. One of the biggest signs that God is preparing you for something big is unusual delays and obstacles. Look at Moses. He knew he was called to deliver Israel, yet he spent 40 years in the wilderness before stepping into his destiny. Why? Because God had to prepare him first. Here's the truth. Delays are not denials. God is not punishing you. He's positioning you. When doors don't open, it's because the right one hasn't arrived yet. So if you're facing unusual delays right now, don't lose hope. It means God is working behind the scenes, setting things up for something greater. And if you think the delays are frustrating, wait until you hear the next sign, because it's something most people don't expect. 2. Increased spiritual warfare. Have you ever noticed that right when you feel closest to a breakthrough, everything seems to go wrong? Problems pile up, relationships get strained, unexpected challenges hit you from every side. That's not a coincidence, it's spiritual warfare. The enemy fights hardest when you're closest to your destiny. Even Jesus faced this. Right before he stepped into his ministry, he was led into the wilderness and tempted by Satan for 40 days. The enemy knew something big was coming, so he tried to stop it before it could begin. Now listen carefully. The enemy wouldn't fight you if you weren't a threat. The attacks are proof that something great is on the way. The greater the calling, the greater the battle, but also the greater the victory. So if you're feeling under attack, don't give up now. Stay in prayer, stay in faith. And remember, this battle is not the end. It's just confirmation that you're getting closer. But sometimes, God doesn't just allow battles, He allows something even harder, isolation. And that's what we're talking about next. 3. A season of isolation. Have you ever felt like the people you once relied on are suddenly distant? Friends fade away, relationships shift, and you feel like you're walking this journey alone. This isn't a mistake, it's a divine setup. God often removes distractions so you can hear His voice more clearly. Take Elijah. After his great victory at Mount Carmel, he found himself alone in a cave, discouraged and afraid. But it was in that solitude that he heard God's whisper. Here's what you need to understand. God isolates before He elevates. Sometimes losing people is part of God's plan to strengthen your dependence on Him. What feels like loneliness is actually preparation. If you're in a season of isolation, don't fight it, embrace it. God is drawing you closer, sharpening you, and preparing you for something greater. And sometimes, the next sign can feel even more uncomfortable, because it comes with a sudden shift in your life. Let's talk about it. 4. Divine disruptions. Are you blessed? Please subscribe for more. Thank you. Have you ever had life suddenly flip upside down? You lose a job, a relationship ends, or everything familiar starts falling apart. This isn't just bad luck, it's divine disruption. When God is preparing you for something big, He often shakes up your life to move you out of your comfort zone. Look at Abraham. He was comfortable in his homeland, surrounded by family, until God told him to leave everything behind and step into the unknown. Here's the truth. God removes the familiar to make room for the greater. What seems like loss is actually preparation for increase. If everything is shifting around you, it might be because God is shifting you into your destiny. So if you're going through an unexpected change, don't panic. Pray. Ask God what He's making room for, because your breakthrough might be closer than you think. And sometimes, even when things look fine on the outside, there's an inner sign that God is preparing you for more. Let's talk about it. When a deep restlessness in your spirit. Have you ever felt like you're outgrowing your current situation? Like something inside of you is unsettled, even when everything seems okay? That's not random, that's God stirring your spirit. A deep restlessness is often a sign that He's calling you to something greater. Think about David. Before he was crowned king, he was just a shepherd. But deep down, he knew he was called for more. Even when he was serving faithfully, his spirit was being prepared for something bigger. Here's what you need to know. Restlessness isn't dissatisfaction. It's divine preparation. God makes you uncomfortable where you are, so you'll step into where you're meant to be. If you feel like you don't fit where you are, it might be because you've outgrown that level. So if you've been feeling this deep inner stirring, don't ignore it. Seek God, because He might be calling you to step into a whole new season. And sometimes when God is preparing you, He doesn't just stir your spirit. He also starts sending powerful confirmations. That's what we'll talk about next. 6. Supernatural confirmations. Have you ever had a random stranger, a sermon, or even a dream confirm exactly what you've been feeling inside? It's like the same message keeps showing up everywhere. That's not a coincidence. That's supernatural confirmation. When God is preparing you for something big, He often sends repeated signs to get your attention. Think about Gideon. He wasn't sure if God was really calling him to lead an army, so he asked for signs. And guess what? God confirmed it not once but twice. Here's the truth. God always confirms His direction. When He's calling you higher, He will send people, messages, or even dreams to assure you. Pay attention, because sometimes your confirmation is already around you. If you've been seeing repeated signs, don't ignore them, embrace them. God is speaking and He's preparing you for what's next. But here's the thing, confirmations mean nothing if you don't take action. And that's where the final test comes in. Let's talk about it. 7. A test of faith and obedience. Have you ever felt like God was asking you to take a leap of faith, but you weren't sure how it would turn out? This is the final step before your breakthrough. A test of faith and obedience. God often asks you to step out before showing you the full picture. Remember Peter? Jesus called him to step out of the boat and walk on water. He could have doubted, but instead he obeyed and experienced the supernatural. Here's what you need to know. Faith doesn't require full understanding, just full trust. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. Your obedience is the final step before the breakthrough. If God has been prompting you to do something, start that business. Move to a new place, step into ministry, don't hesitate. Your obedience is the key to unlocking the next level. Now that you know the 7 signs, the real question is, are you ready to respond? Drop a comment below if you've experienced any of these signs. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Kingdom Insights. Now that we've covered these 7 powerful signs, let's do a quick recap. Unusual delays and obstacles. Things feel stuck, but it's a setup for something greater. Increased spiritual warfare. The enemy attacks hardest when you're closest to breakthrough. A season of isolation. God removes distractions so you can hear Him clearly. Divine disruptions. When things suddenly shift, God is making room for something new. A deep restlessness in your spirit. That discomfort means you're outgrowing your current level. Supernatural confirmations. Repeated signs and messages show you're on the right path. A test of faith and obedience. God asks you to step out before showing the full picture. Now here's my question for you. Which of these signs are you experiencing right now? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If this message blessed you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep spiritual insights. Listen, no matter what's happening in your life right now, remember this. God is setting you up for something bigger than you can imagine. Stay faithful, keep trusting, and watch how He moves in your life. God bless you.